One thing I wanted to actually back up and just quickly ask about is when you joined Mouse Sports, right? There was that weird thing where you joined and then like about 2 weeks later or something, Carrigan was like, anyway, guys, I'm off to FaZe. It's been real. Like, see, did you actually know that was coming when you joined? Did you join thinking like, oh, I'm joining Carrigan's team. It's going to be fucking sick. What was the scenario?
Yeah. So when I joined or like I got the offer, I actually got the offer from Mouse Sports earlier as well, but Madlines didn't want to sell me at that point. Right. So half a year later or something, they came back and figured out something with Madlines, but it was with Kerrigan as the in-game leader, and I think I practiced with him or like played a tournament with him for 1 week, and then he joined FaZe. So it was kind of like I joined Mouse expecting to actually play with Kerrigan because I was like one of those in-game leaders I wanted to try to play with because he's always been like a top tier in-game leader and always been really, really good. So it was like, I won't say it's like, I mean, it was probably, it's hard to explain, but like I was just joining the team and then you just get like a slap in the face or something like, cause you're joining something and it's not what you actually wanted, and it is, yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but I only played one for 1 week and yeah.
What about this? Because obviously in that team you did get to play with ropz at the time when ropz was still really good. Like, there's a reason he got picked up a FaZe clan. But the question I have is this. One, what was it like just to play with him? But then the other thing is, it did look towards the end, because he had a ssimilar thing to Carrigan where it's like everyone heard the rumours. It was in the press like months before. I mean, in his case, ages before. Like, they're probably going to leave. The rumour even was for like a whole year with him. He's going to go to FaZe clan. He's going to join with Carrigan. Like, that must kind of suck a little bit of your teammate. And I have to say, a lot of analysts said this. And when I watched some of his games, it did look kind of true. It looked a bit like towards the end of his time in Mouse, because he sort of knew he was going to go and that Mouse wasn't that good. It looked like he did like play a bit selfish and bait a little bit, and maybe he didn't go for like the 1v3s and stuff and just got the exit kills. Yeah. What do you think on that angle? What was he like as a player? Was he good at the time? Yeah. And do you think it was true he kind of baited a little bit?
Yeah, I was like, we have more players baiting on the team as well.
Okay.
Okay. If you just say like that, it is what it is. But yeah, I felt like in the end it got worse because it felt like he was talking with FaZe at some point and talking with them and close to joining. So I felt like at some point he was playing more for himself and we had other players playing. I just felt like the team in general was such a weird, like it was such a weird time on the team, because it was like as soon as practice was done, everyone was just like, we end at 18 and like 18:01, everyone closes TeamSpeak. Nobody's saying, nobody says a word. Right. Just practice done, see you. Then nobody would talk to each other, and it was just such a weird like time in the team. Like, instead of, at least on Medlines, I would say, and Gamer Legion now, we are, I would say it's more like being friends on the team and like actually instead of colleagues, because Mouse felt like we were just colleagues. Like, we just meet up on the for practice, and when we're done, then that's it.
Is it important, do you think, to have like some sort of team spirit?
I feel like it's like chemistry is really important, because right now we're having a really, really good time on Gamer Legion, and for me at least, I feel like it shows on the server. Like, some of these players haven't played any big tournaments yet, I think, and coming into like 1 month of practice, like 1.5 months of practice, and qualifying for the major, beating G2 and playing a really, really close game with FaZe and Spirit, and I think nobody of us expected that, like, at least that fast, to be honest. So yeah, team chemistry is like a really big part of having a great team, in my opinion.
Sure. Because the thing is, the reason why I asked it that way, even though it sounds a little bit sour, because obviously at the end, like, you don't want to feel like your team is just bait and getting stats, and they're like, right, I've got my gig now, guys, so I'm just going to leave the team. That sucks. Because normally you want to have all the best stories about playing with someone like ropz. You want to be able to say, because I always think this, like, even though you've maybe not been the best player in FaZe, you can tell even in FaZe they know he's like probably the most skilled player in the team, because it's just someone where you can just do anything in the game. You can win any round. You can win it with a deagle. You can win any 1vx, and like you want to believe that's your star player and he's going to carry the team, right?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely had also on Mouse. We had a feeling like even though he's like 1v5, 1v4, it's like the round is not over yet. Like, he if he wants and if he gets the right timing and stuff, he's gonna win the round. Like, he had that kind of like play style where he could take a duel against anyone. He would just like you just instantly won't tap you or like know where you are, and just he's like mechanically he's really really good, and like mechanically really down to like small details, or like really like it's really like like a machine or something. We'll call him the robot or something. And then he was always like winning clutches and insane rounds that you shouldn't even be able to win. So the round was never done with ropz in the life. So yeah.
Even though, as I say, people have sort of like, it's weird because I almost feel like Dexter's in like the Huxley camp. Like he's a very different player. He's way more skilled. But on the one hand, people like him as a meme, but then they also like sort of flame the fuck out of him all the time. So what was he actually like as an in-game leader? Because obviously he has a very weird background. He was coming from Australia where he was like the IGL, but also like the star player of Renegades. And if you ever watched, he was the one just like dropping 30 kills all the time. So it must have been a different type of IGL, right, when you played with him?
Yeah, I'm not sure because I even played Dexter when he was on one of the Australian teams, Greyhound or something, and like, we played DreamHack tournaments against him as well. And he played really good. Like he was top fragging and like he was destroying the Australian scene as well as being in-game leader. And then he comes into EU and then like, Europe, and then he's, I think like the way he thought about the game was like he had to get used to the way people were playing, like a lot more aggressive and a lot more like just a lot better in general, individually and as a team, and everything was just, I think it was like a punch, like, not like a punch in the stomach, but like he just came into Europe and like everything was just so not the same way that he's been used to calling, and he had to like kind of like Ave, where you have to like come into like a new thing and then like learn everything again. Yeah, it felt like in the start it was like hard for him to come in, and ropz was calling a lot in the start as well, and everyone was helping a lot. So yeah.
When they benched you in MOUZ, a lot of people might not know this, but you were in the dreaded contract prison where you just have to just sit there like, can I play CS? And then they're like, not unless someone buys you. It's like, well, why, no one's going to buy me though if I don't play and no one thinks I'm good. Like, what was that period? Like, it was ages, dude. It was like almost like 3/4 of a year or something, right?
Yeah, I mean that was really like, I hate it. Like, I don't think I've been benched before, if I remember correctly. I'm not sure. But like being out for what, 10 months or something, 9 months. It was such a long time, and you're just going by day, and I think even at the start, like, because we ended our last tournament with MOUZ like 5th December 21, or yeah, 5th December something. And then we went into like the winter break, and then I think they benched me like in the start of the year or something. Or could have been the end of the year, but like it was a long time after like we actually stopped playing. We just went on a break instantly after the tournament because there was no more to play, and it would make sense to practice up to like a player break. So we just ended up taking like a prolonged vacation or like a break. And I ended up getting benched. Like I thought about benching myself as well because nothing was really working out, and like I had actually gone with the thought of like a couple of months already when I got benched, but I still I feel like benching yourself is like giving up, and I didn't want to give up because I had signed with MOUZ, and I didn't want to let down MOUZ as well because it's not like they owe me anything, but like I'd still signed a 2-year contract. So in my head I need to stay with those 2 years, and I need to give all I have. But giving up is like, I don't want to give up, so I just kind of continued and ended up getting benched in the end. But yeah, that 9 months of sitting on the bench was like it's really weird because like every day you're like expecting some, like, not expecting, but like you're hoping some team is gonna like contact you and like start buying you, or like start a situation where they end up buying you or something, but it just never came. I talked with Astralis when they were getting Far League as well, but they ended up getting Far League at that point. They had a policy or something, if that's what you want to call it, in Astralis, that they don't want to buy bench players. So
okay. One thing I want to know about that, look, you don't have to say the number, but was the buyout large or something? Was it something that if someone inquired, it put people off?
I would say it's probably like less than 10%, like less than 10% of what they're buying a device from for right now.
Okay,
so.
that's a good sort of wheelhouse.
I mean,
it's not that much then.
So
in that case,
it was very low.
If no one was inquiring, if no one's even coming aside from Astralis potentially, did you ever think like maybe that's it? Maybe I just never get to play real Pro CS again?
I did get the thought a couple of times, but at the same time, I didn't want to give up, so I ended up starting my stream, and like, I mean, MOUZ did tell me that I had to stream to actually get paid as well, but I was gonna stream anyways, because I like what else can you do on the bench? Like, I was just gonna stream and grind FPL and get my individual level back and just try to like follow up on the meta, because even like 1 month out of the scene, then you're way out of the meta, and everything just feels weird when you start playing again. So I was just trying to play as much as possible and play Faceit, and yeah, it ended up in the end, I guess, but yeah.
Want to see more cool, funny, interesting clips based on topics from my content? Well, subscribe to this channel then, or, you know, be a pleb and don't.